Sandman.
Greetings, friends. I'm sure many of you are familiar with a wonderful movie from 1984, which you want to rewatch over and over again on Christmas Eve. As you may have guessed, it's Gremlins. However, who are these gremlins in reality and mythology of our time? In this video, I will tell you about their origins. You will find out who they are, where they came from, and what they are capable of. Gremlins are small, mischievous creatures that have captured the imagination of popular culture for decades. Stories and legends about gremlins date back centuries, though the name gremlin and their iconic appearance seem to originate from early 20th century British folklore. The exact origins of gremlin stories are unclear, but some researchers believe they arose from pre-existing folklore about troublesome fairy-like creatures. Terms like gremlin, gremlin, and gremlin start appearing in Royal Air Force slang in the 1920s, used to describe unexplained mechanical problems and mishaps. The name may have come from an Old English word meaning to vex or annoy. Gremlins became cemented in popular culture during World War II, when a flight of Royal Air Force planes got lost in a snowstorm over the North Sea. Only one pilot survived, and when he was rescued, he recounted a fantastical story about creatures sabotaging his plane mid-flight. These creatures were given the name Gremlins, and the story spread like wildfire through the RAF. Soon Gremlins were being blamed whenever anything went wrong with British aircraft. The classic image of a gremlin became standardized in the 1920s and 30s. Gremlins were described as tiny green humanoid creatures, only about a foot tall, with large pointed ears and beady black eyes. They were said to have suction cup toes and fingers, allowing them to easily cling to the exterior of aircraft. Stories portrayed them as inveterate tricksters, who loved pranking and sabotaging planes through mischief and destruction. Still, gremlins were not necessarily evil, just troublesome. Gremlins delighted in harmless tricks, like redirecting navigation instruments and buzzing pilots' ears. But they also tampered with more vital components, frayed control cables, clogged fuel lines, and disabled landing gear. They treated airplane destruction like a game, without concern for human life. While individual gremlins exhibited varying levels of malevolence, as a whole their actions were amoral and dangerous. Nonetheless, the idea of little green men on the wings remained popular with servicemen, who liked having a concrete image to blame for mid-air mechanical issues. The image of wartime gremlins took firm root in popular culture thanks to two classics of British children's literature. In 1943, acclaimed author Roald Dahl published The Gremlins, a picture book about mischievous winged creatures. Walt Disney acquired the rights to adapt The Gremlins into an animated film, though the project was later abandoned. Still, Dahl's book introduced gremlins to an international audience and shaped how they would be portrayed in comics, cartoons, and movies going forward. Gremlins got another major boost when author Enid Blyton published the Folk of the Faraway Tree fantasy series from 1946 to 1950. The Faraway Tree featured tiny elf-like characters called the Imps who loved getting up to no good. These imps were overtly based on RAF gremlins, carrying over their iconic appearance and proclivity for pranks. Together, Dahl and Blyton's works cemented gremlins as staples of children's media, misbehaving but rarely dangerous creatures. The image of the impish gremlin has proven remarkably resilient, evolving across eras while retaining its essential character. Gremlins made the jump to the silver screen in 1984 with Joe Dante's horror comedy film Gremlins. The movie is about a mysterious creature known as the Mogwai. Dante took the tiny tricksters back to their more sinister roots, portraying them as breeding monsters intent on killing people. While darker, this vision resonated and became massively influential. Dante's horror gremlins have appeared in cartoons, books, merchandising, and even a sequel film. Gremlins have also taken on second lives in other military organizations. While no longer sabotaging British aircraft, gremlin troubles are still colloquially blamed for mechanical issues and electrical problems in military and civilian aircraft. The term is used semi-seriously, harkening back to its wartime superstitious origins. Some aircrew even claim to have spotted the little creatures skittering across wings and tails. Outside of planes, gremlins are still invoked whenever machinery acts up. They appear as mascots and logos for various organizations, especially those involving aviation and engineering. The University of California men's basketball team is even nicknamed the UC Gremlins after aircraft mishaps during World War II. Whether they actually existed or not, gremlins clearly caught everyone's attention and took a permanent place in people's lives. The image of mischief-making little green men sabotaging planes and heavy machinery has proven wildly compelling and adaptable across genres. Today gremlins are children's characters, horror monsters, in-jokes for engineers, and team mascots. Though exact gremlin origins are still debated, their continuing cultural impact is undeniable. As long as things still occasionally go wrong without explanation, these iconic imps will likely keep sprouting in new incarnations.